35,000 souls fleeing a holy war aboard the Star Cruise liner Persephone, most left in stasis lockers on the lowest of its 26 decks. The ship is so full, one of the stasis chambers has to be left in a storage locker, hooked to a portable generator. This is the only chamber whose occupant woke up. Now awake, this survivor begins his quest to find others, with nothing left to keep him company but the failing lights, his posthumous companion Ziggy, and outside the ever-watching Eye of the Universe. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are reviewing the book The Eye of the Universe, a survival horror book set in space. So let's set the stage a bit. The Persephone, the cruise liner in the book, is stuffed full of refugees fleeing Williamson Colony. The ship is only meant to take on 20,000 passengers, but thanks to stasis chambers they're able to squeeze in an extra 15,000. They're taking these refugees to the outer colonies in hopes that the holy war they find themselves in won't spread there. Unfortunately, along the way they run into an unknown cataclysm which cripples the ship. Due to unknown errors, a rescue ship never arrives. Chaos erupts and murder and suicide end up being the order of the day. And that should just about catch you up to where the book begins. Our nameless main character is the last one to show up to the party, and it is officially over. Convinced there must be other survivors, he pushes his friend Ziggy around in their wheelchair as they repeatedly search the lower decks. Now let's talk a bit about the characters, as it's a fairly limited cast. Our main character is a former computer engineer and programmer who always felt overshadowed by his over-accomplishing sister. His friend Ziggy is dead. That might seem like the obvious place to end a friendship, but when all you have to pick from is corpses, you get a little less picky. Ziggy communicates, or should I say the main character interprets Ziggy's communication as squeaks from his wheelchair. At the start of the book, the main character doesn't even know Ziggy's real name, but by happenstance he finds the crew quarters and Ziggy's room in particular. Once inside, the main character discovers Ziggy's personal and professional audio logs and uses them to make a chatbot so that he doesn't feel quite so alone. Being dead makes it hard to move around under your own power, and so it's up to the main character to push him around, pull him up elevator shafts and maintenance ducts. Once given a voice, Ziggy helps in his own peculiar way. Next we have the Eye. It's never explained exactly what the Eye is. We do know it's a celestial body of some kind, orange, blue, and menacingly staring at everyone on the ship. The Eye always seems to greet the main character when he wakes up by staring in through the portholes. You really get the feeling that the Eye is following the main character around, staring at him, watching him, and studying him. But it's more logical that Persephone is rotating, giving the illusion that the Eye is following the main characters. One thing that isn't disputed is that the Eye seems to be getting closer. Lastly, we have a character that's not really a character. Often the main character hears the whispers of the dead. The voices change from floor to floor. Technical jargon on the maintenance decks, medical jargon in the hospital. But one voice is always the main character's sister, Michaela. These whispers are often followed by horrible events. Most feel like they come from the main character's isolation and imagination, like insanity is knocking ever so lightly to be allowed inside. Now let's talk about the tone. It's survival horror, and there's no question about it. The whole book is in the first-person perspective of the main character as he traverses a ship full of corpses. He struggles to stay optimistic as he tries to find a way to get off the ship. Every new deck brings a whole new set of horror, from pitched battles over a little bit of fresh food to organized mass suicide. The smell of death and decay are everywhere. I'm going to say I'm not a big fan of the horror genre, but I love the survival aspect of this book. A lot of thought went into the technical aspects of the ship and exactly how a person would survive on what's basically a floating graveyard. There are points when everything feels hopeless. But the real fear doesn't come from the loneliness, or the whispers, or the Eye, or even the mountains of corpses and broken machines. It comes from the thought of losing your purpose, of having no goal, nothing to strive for, and no hope of getting to a better place. If you enjoyed this review, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're an independent author who would like a review of your book, please follow the link in the description and leave links to where your book can be purchased and where people can get in touch with you. Thank you.